when we pivoted to virtual, all of a sudden, geography was no longer a boundary. But I also think that greatly contributed to the situation that we all face, which is that everyone is being invited to everything because there is no geography anymore. You know, obviously we have different companies, we go after different functions, but let's face it, there's only so many senior enterprise leaders in information technology, in finance, in marketing, and so on. And they're being invited to more things than they ever have before, almost by like a 10x factor, because everyone is inviting these folks because they no longer, like I said, are just limiting to a certain geography, and everyone's doing these virtual events. I think it's making it harder for everyone to get attendance and to convert folks from registering to actually showing up. So one of the things we've been strongly advising our clients on, and certainly everyone that we're working with here, is to be really specific when it comes to content, because differentiating your event based on content is probably the biggest opportunity that we have to cut through all the noise.
The success factor is really a trifecta. And that trifecta is, number one, theme content, right? Very important. Want to choose something that resonates with your target audience. Number two, I would say involving partners and customers. So per Jenny's comment earlier about involving partners, you can really amplify the outreach for the event to your target audience by also working with the partners and doing like strategic account mapping and inviting that sweet spot for both companies. Also with our partners, a lot of our strategic alliance partners have a much bigger brand than us. And most of our customers are enterprise level, kind of Fortune 1000 customers. So their brands are going to be bigger and stronger and more well-known than a B2B brand like Equinix. So we tend to get better recruitment when we can partner with those folks. And then the third part of the magic triangle of success is targeted recruitment. We do a lot of back-end analytics around who has the greatest propensity to buy from and work with Equinix. And so in kind of putting that analytics and that data to work, we're able to come up with a very targeted list of companies. And then on top of that, we layer in a targeted list of personas that we go after. When we work specifically with BDI and other vendors too sometimes, but we do this regularly with BDI, we create a tiered list. So we have like, here's our targeted list we're going to mail to these folks first. Tier 1. And then after we do a couple mailings, then we start targeting our tier 2, tier 3 lists. So that's what our recipe has been in terms of really getting the right audience there, not just a big audience.
When those numbers came through at the end of the conference, we saw the highest attended sessions being those sessions that we recommended. Now, it's a little bit of goose in the results, but what we wanted to ensure is that if you're an FSI and you're a director, you need to attend this event, that event, and this event. If you're a practitioner and you're in broadcast and media, these are the 3 or 4 sessions that you should be attending during Summit. So the more curated the content for the persona and the vertical, we've seen greater success on, specifically in our Summit. And now we're kind of replicating that in some of the field events that we have going on in our Q3 and Q4. If we're talking about cloud migration and all of a sudden we're presenting the topic on, I don't know, AI ops, right? It's a little bit disjointed, but if we're on that same track, then they've been having that conversation multiple times. They've been seeing, social ads, display ads. They've been seeing the emails that have been going out. So it just lends itself to a little bit more of a seamless transition from engaging with content to eventually attending one of our events.
We basically have flipped our focus really to target accounts. So really going back to like that ABM approach, right? Because that approach of broadly marketing isn't quite working anymore. So we're flipped over to an ABM approach, and I'm working with our partners to host a series of lunch and learns where we're inviting no more than 10 to 15 attendees, meant to be very intimate, and we're kind of stealing a page from BDI where we're buying them lunch. But I think what, in terms of me providing the guidance, to my teams and to my partners is moderate. I mean, I think it goes a lot into how you moderate the event. Like, don't come with slides. No one wants to see slides. No one wants to see 20 bullet points on a slide. Come with questions. So if you come with questions and make it more of a conversation, I think calling out on people, because you kind of expect that when you come to a Zoom call, you kind of expect to engage, right? So, come with your list of questions and call out, hey, Steve, what do you think about that? That's very receptive, and then you have attendees really paying attention as well. Like, oh, okay, I better not multitask because I might be called on to offer my opinion. So that's something that we're trying, that's been working well for us.
What we've had to do is actually work a lot closer with our sales teams to determine what those use cases are. And as we're going to this target account model, the plan would be to drive more of our targeted accounts and then determine with our sales teams what's that particular use case and generating content that is relevant for that particular group. If it's a marketing use case, if it's an IT use case, and then drill down into that a little bit more.